Carnival Cruise Lines is working to fly all passengers on one of its cruises back to Florida after the ship suffered a generator failure while docked in the Caribbean. The experience on the Carnival Dream became something of a nightmare for some passengers Wednesday when power went off. Some toilets stopped working, and no one was allowed to get off the vessel, despite the fact that the ship was docked at Phillipsburg, St. Martin, in the Eastern Caribbean. Although power was restored and facilities were functioning again, the ship still couldn't leave port. During regularly scheduled testing of the ship's emergency diesel generator, a malfunction occurred, Carnival said in a statement. While personnel continue to work on the technical issue, we are making arrangements to fly all guests home via private charter flights and scheduled flights from St. Martin. Guests on the current voyage will receive a refund equivalent to 3 days of the voyage and 50% off a future cruise. We are also canceling the ship's next voyage, which is scheduled to depart on Saturday, March 16. According to the Carnival website, the ship can fit 3,646 passengers and crew of 1,367. But Carnival spokesman Vance Gullickson said Thursday there were 4,300 guests aboard the Dream and about 1,100 crew members. Chris Anderson, a passenger on the ship and reporter for CNN affiliate WREG, said Thursday passengers have been told they will be allowed off the ship to enjoy the island while flight arrangements are made. On Tuesday, Carnival announced it was conducting a comprehensive review of all of its 23 ships following a fire last month that crippled one of its ships in the Gulf of Mexico, leaving passengers stranded for days while the vessel was towed back to land. Carnival President and CEO Gary Cahill said the probe will focus on the prevention, detection and suppression of fires, engine room redundancies, and what additional hotel facilities might be provided and might run off the emergency generators. His comments, posted on Carnival's website, were made at an annual cruise industry conference in Miami. Human waste all over the floor after the problems began Wednesday. CNN was contacted by passengers describing the conditions. Greg Stark, who is traveling with his wife and 2 young children, told CNN, "There's human waste all over the floor in some of the bathrooms and they're overflowing, and in the staterooms. The elevators have not been working. They've been turning them on and off. On and off." An announcement over the ship's public address system said the crew was trying to fix the problem and was working on the generators, according to Stark. A few hours later, another announcement was made, saying the problem was worse than originally believed. "We are not allowed off of the boat despite the fact that we have no way to use the restrooms on board," Jonathan Evans of Reidsville, North Carolina, said in an email early Thursday. The cruise director is giving passengers very limited information and tons of empty promises. What was supposed to take an hour has turned into 7+ hours. But Thursday afternoon, Carnival told CNN that based on conversations with the ship's management team, a look at service logs and extensive physical monitoring of all public areas, including restrooms, throughout the night, we can confirm that only one public restroom was taken offline for cleaning based on toilet overflow. And there was a total of 1 request for cleaning of a guest cabin bathroom. Aside from that, there have no reports of issues on board with overflowing toilets or sewage. The toilet system had periodic interruptions yesterday evening and was fully restored at approximately 12:30 a.m. this morning. 5 things we've learned about cruising. The Coast Guard was notified by Carnival that the Dream was experiencing generator issues. Carnival has not requested assistance from the Coast Guard, which has no jurisdiction in the ship's current location, Coast Guard Petty Officer John Paul Rios told CNN. U.S. Coast Guard Chief Petty Officer Ryan Doss said Carnival's original decision to keep passengers on board was for accountability purposes. "The last thing we want to do is have someone get left behind in St. Martin by accident." The Dream, based in Port Canaveral, Florida, was on a 7-day cruise. The ship, 1,000 feet long, about the length of 3 football fields, sailed from Port Canaveral on Saturday. It was scheduled to leave St. Martin around 5 p.m. Yet Wednesday. After a bad cruise, can you cruise into court? Lessons from the Triumph last month. An engine room fire left the Carnival Triumph crippled and adrift in the Gulf of Mexico with more than 4,200 people aboard. That scheduled 4-day cruise stretched into 8 days as tugs pulled the vessel into port in Alabama. Food was scarce and passengers sweltered in the heat with no air conditioning. People aboard also reported overflowing toilets and human waste running down the walls in some parts of the ship. A class action lawsuit was filed against Carnival Corporation in the aftermath. Crippled cruise ship returns. Passengers happy to be back. The Triumph is still undergoing repair at a shipyard in Mobile, Alabama. Carnival spokeswoman Joyce Levac told CNN Thursday. We are now focused on the lessons we can learn from the incident and also what additional operational redundancies might be available. Carnival President and CEO Cat Hill said at the cruise industry conference this week. Another ship, the Carnival Splendor, had a fire in 2010 due to a catastrophic failure of a diesel generator. Cat Hill noted. The comprehensive review of the fleet, he said, is our highest priority. He also emphasized that the vast majority of the time, cruises experience no such problems. Anderson said when he booked tickets for his family to take the cruise, some friends ribbed him about choosing Carnival, given what happened with the Triumph. I said, what are the odds of it happening to two ships in such a short period of time? He told CNN Thursday. Look what happened now.